Let's start with something your heart already knows is true, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. Today, we're exploring the whispers of other life. We're talking hidden dimensions, time slips, and the very fabric of reality itself. No fluff, just the things that make you question everything you thought you knew.
Tell me, have you ever had that exact feeling? You know the one. You're just standing there doing something completely normal, and for a fraction of a second, your heart drops. You think, I've absolutely lived this exact scene before. Have you felt that split-second certainty? Because almost everyone has.
Okay, let's look at the science. The word déjà vu is French for already seen. Now, traditional science will try to brush this off as just a brain memory glitch. They claim your brain mistakenly tags a brand new experience as something familiar. But come on, that explanation completely fails to answer the real questions. It doesn't explain why people don't just feel familiar, but can actually accurately predict what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 seconds. A simple memory glitch definitely can't do that.
So let's consider the quantum explanation. If you remember the concept of the fifth dimension, it's a space where all parallel timelines exist at the exact same time. Think of your life as a thread. Sometimes, your thread intersects with an alternate timeline for just a microscopic nanosecond. Déjà vu isn't a glitch at all. It's a perfectly recorded glimpse of that intersection. You're literally peeking into an alternate timeline where this has already happened.
And it's amazing how this connects spiritually. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayatul Kursi beautifully states, "He knows what is before them and what will be after them." For the Creator, all timelines are completely visible all at once. They exist simultaneously. So what we experience as déjà vu is really just a fleeting, recorded glimpse of this grand, magnificent structure that's already entirely known to Allah.
But let's take this mystery a step further, beyond just fleeting feelings. Have you ever heard of a time slip? This is where things get intensely physical. We aren't just talking about a feeling anymore. We're talking about actual, physical cracks in the fabric of time itself, where people literally step out of our era and into another one.
Consider these real historical anomalies. In 1901, two British women visiting the Versailles Palace suddenly found themselves interacting with people in 18th century clothing and even saw Marie Antoinette, literally slipping back to 1789. Then, in 1986, a couple walking down a street in Genoa, Italy, experienced what felt like 20 minutes, but when they emerged, their family had been frantically searching for them for 3 whole days. And in 1996, a couple in a Liverpool lane inexplicably found themselves surrounded by 1950s shops and cars for a few minutes. Mind-blowing, right?
Now, what's truly fascinating is how modern physics fully supports these bizarre events. Einstein's general relativity proved that time is not a constant, straight line. It's relative, and it bends with gravity. Quantum string theory takes it even further, suggesting that the fabric of space-time can literally tear, creating physical cracks. If you happen to hit one of these tears, physically slipping into another time becomes completely scientifically plausible.
And this completely aligns with ancient wisdom. Surah Al-Hajj clearly states, "A day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of those which you count." It essentially proves that the flow of time completely changes depending on which dimension you occupy. Time is not an absolute rule, it's really just a condition of our specific 3-dimensional existence.
Need more proof? Let's quickly look at out-of-place artifacts. These are items that simply shouldn't exist in human history. The Antikythera mechanism is a 2,000-year-old analog computer found in ancient Greece. How did they have that technology? In Colombia, they found the Quimbaya airplanes, solid gold aerodynamically perfect planes from 500 AD. In Iraq, a functioning 2-volt battery dating back to 250 BC. And the Isha stones in Peru, showing heart transplants and humans with dinosaurs. You have to ask yourself, how do these exist without dimensional intervention or information slipping over from an alternate timeline? Which brings us to a question that will truly challenge your perception of reality. Does another version of you exist right now? Is there an alternate you out there, living a completely different life? Let's shift our focus to parallel universes.
In physics, this is known as Everett's many worlds interpretation. It proposes that every single quantum decision you make splits the universe into an infinite number of parallel realities. Let's ground this a bit. If you chose to drink tea this morning, another version of you in a parallel universe chose coffee. Another version chose nothing at all. Every possibility creates a split, and all of these infinite versions are equally real.
This leads to something called the doppelganger effect. Have you ever met a complete stranger and felt an instant, unexplainable bond? Or felt like someone somehow knows your deepest secrets without you saying a single word?
Well, this happens when your timeline gets incredibly close to another timeline at the fifth dimensional level. The timelines brush against each other, and you sense the resonance of an alternate reality.
And once again, this physics of infinite possibilities ties perfectly back to spiritual truth. As Surah Al-An'am states, there is nothing that we have not recorded in a clear book. This is the Law Mahfuz. Every single quantum outcome, every parallel universe, every choice you make or didn't make is already perfectly documented. The only thing connecting all these infinite realities is the ultimate knowledge of the Creator.
And this brilliantly illustrates where other beings fit into our universe. Let's contrast angels and jinn through the lens of dimensions. Angels are created from Nur, which we can understand scientifically as pure higher dimensional electromagnetic energy, making them four-dimensional beings. Jinn, on the other hand, are created from smokeless fire, operating on an infrared spectrum right on the borderline between the third and fourth dimensions.
Because they operate in these higher dimensions, their physical rules are totally different from ours. Angels experience fluid time, traveling from the sky to the earth in a second. They don't need 3D sustenance. They absorb energy directly, using tasbih as fuel. They don't sleep because sleep is strictly a biological need in 3D. Meanwhile, jinn exist right in the same room as us, like parallel radio frequencies, operating on a channel our 3D eyes just aren't tuned to see. They can look down on us from a higher dimension, completely undisturbed by our physical laws.
Now, you might be wondering, why does all of this matter to you? Well, we aren't just exploring these dimensions to be amazed. We're shifting from awe to empowerment. Understanding how these dimensions and timelines work actually gives you incredibly practical tools to master your daily life.
Think of your daily spiritual practices as actual quantum mechanics. First, dua or prayer. Making dua isn't just asking, it's a focused intention that triggers a specific quantum wave collapse, literally pulling a possibility from the fifth dimension right into your reality. Second, shukar or gratitude. When you are truly grateful, you activate the quantum observer effect. By consciously observing your blessings, you physically multiply them. And third, namaz, which shifts your body's frequency to align with higher 4D signals.
Take a close look at the frequency of 432 Hz. When you perform namaz, with its specific movements and states of deep focus, it brings your body incredibly close to this exact frequency. What this does is effectively shut off the chaotic noise of the 3D world around you. In this state, your brain becomes incredibly powerful. It acts as a highly tuned antenna, perfect for manifesting that focused dua.
So, as we wrap up this journey, here are the core truths I really want you to hold on to. We do not just live in a simple physical world. We exist in a universe of 10 or more dimensions. Experiences like time slips and déjà vu aren't glitches, they are actual glimpses of other timelines. The Quran isn't just a book of history, it is a timeless quantum manual explaining the mechanics of these realities. And most importantly, you are not just a physical three-dimensional body. You are a timeless soul temporarily navigating the space.
I really want to know what you think about all of this. Which dimensional concept amazed you the most? Was it the time slips, the parallel universes, or maybe how your daily prayers are actual quantum tools? Drop a comment below and let's discuss it.